Welcome back, you guys. Look at me and look at your girl being consistent. This is going to be one of my chit chats. I posted a comment, a question on Instagram the other day, and we're going to be going through that and the responses that I received from people. I was having a conversation with a friend who was going through something right now in her relationship. The question I posted: relationships are built on chemistry, emotional, physical attraction, and hope. So when the light isn't as strong as it used to be, where do you go from there? Like, what do you do at that point? And y'all responses? Let's get into it. My response, I'm gonna give my answer as to how I feel like you should deal with that. If you're in a relationship, relationships are not meant to be easy. If it's easy, like if your relationship is easy, there's no bumps, there's no arguments, no confrontations, no disagreements, no moments where you just need a moment to yourself, something ain't right. You're going to go through these situations. But if your relationship is strong enough, it's a true relationship, you're gonna overcome it. I feel like if it's something that you really want, if this relationship that you are in is something that you really want, you can see yourself doing this long term, you make that shit work. Like, you stick it out, you make it work through those hard times when it's hard to communicate and you don't really know if I don't want to be bothered with this person right now. Like, I need my space. The easiest thing to do is to run away, give up on it, call it quits, do some dumb shit to make the situation worse. That's the easiest thing to do. The hardest thing to do is to stick with it, make it work through those issues. And if you can get past those issues, you got something. You know what I'm saying? You got something true. You got something real. You got something worth holding on to. If I don't want to fight for who I'm with or what I'm doing, then that means it's not important to me. It's not something that is important to me. It's not something that I want to spend my time on, or as people say, waste their time on. Then that's fine. I mean, relationships are not for everybody. Like, just like they say, marriage is not for everybody. Relationships are not for everybody. I do feel like some people are just meant to be by themselves. Some people are just meant for short things. They do better with short situations. Y'all responses though, these are some of what I've gotten. There was, I'm gonna walk away. I ain't wasting my time. I'm doing their sibling. I'm gonna cheat. I'm going to burn all of his stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, to sum it all up, they're all basically around the same thing. A lot of giving up. There was not one person that responded and said, and granted, people do be, they try to be funny when they respond to certain things like that. It's all humor, you know what I'm saying? It's social media, it's all humor. But nobody said, oh, I'm gonna work it out, or we're gonna figure this out. We gonna work through it. Which was the basis of the conversation that I was having with this girl. Like, she was ready to give it in. Like, she had been with this dude for 4.5 years. They're coming up on their 5th year. And she was just saying, she felt like the chemistry wasn't there. She got tired of repeating herself. She didn't even want to talk about it. She didn't want to waste her time. She wanted to give in. And okay, if that's your choice, that's your choice. But then what? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I have an issue with bouncing from one person to the next. I mean, when you young, it is what it is. You experiment, and we all do dumb shit when we young. Like, I get it. But when you get older, there's more of a risk, and you can't be careful all the time. It's not possible to be careful all the time. Most of the time, yes, but all the time, no. Like, no. And I don't judge anybody. People gonna do what they're gonna do. Like, I personally don't care what you do. But like, when you get older, you want more. You want more for yourself. Like, you want to come home to somebody. You want that. I don't want to, oh, I'm with this person today, I'll be with that person tomorrow. Oh, it's not working, I ain't got time for that. Like, okay, if you want to be single, you want to be single. But some of us do find someone that we do want to work it out with. Some of us do find someone that is worth working it out with. And I feel like if you find that, like, you're not going to find it all the time. I feel like there are times where people find that, and it's hard to give that up. Like, it is so hard to give that up. You give that up, and then there's the risk of never finding that again. And then with never finding that again, you're still chasing what once made you happy, with what once, you know, made you feel content. It filled those voids, and you had those hard times, and then out of fear, you gave up and you walked away. I feel like a lot of times we let fear hold us back. We let fear make us do things that we later on regret because we did not have the courage to stick through it and fight for it. If I want something, I'm gonna fight for it. Yes, we do need our breaks. Like, every now and then I feel like you do need a break. You can't be up under the same person all the time. You need your space. You need your own areas. You need your own friend groups. You need your own hobbies and activities. Like, y'all can't do everything together. But when you do get your own, and you know, both of you are busy, and both of you, you know, are out and about, being busy, progressing in life, when you do get that moment to relax and wind down with each other, it makes it so much more fulfilling. And it's an amazing feeling. Like, I get, like I said, I get that it's not for everyone. But I don't understand it. It's not, the long-term stuff is not for everyone. I get it. But it's an amazing feeling, and I feel like overall, when you do find it, you fight for it. And sometimes I feel like with females, first of all, don't come for me here. Do not come for me here, because I know it's not everybody. But I know a lot of us, we tend to point the blame. We tend to be like, oh, he did this, so, you know, I did that, or he did this, so I ain't trying to work on that. I don't want to go through that. I don't have time for that. Okay, but did you sit back to think why he did that? And I'm not talking about cheating. I feel like cheating is something different. Like, if a person cheats, that's completely different. So that's not even what I'm talking about. That's something else. That's in my mind, the way I see that. It could have, it's the same thing as walking out on something. You know what I'm saying? You did some dumb shit to fuck up some shit that was potentially the best shit for you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, the longer you with someone, you get more comfortable. You get comfortable. And sometimes when we get comfortable, we forget about the things we stopped doing. And I'll use myself for an example. I got comfortable. There's sometimes I'll just walk. There was one point where you would not catch me with my hair not done. You would not catch me, you know, with a decent outfit on. You would not catch me without my lashes and nails done. Then it got comfortable where I'm walking around the house with a baggy old t-shirt, some sweatpants, and a bonnet on, and I'm straight. Like, we get comfortable. But then when it gets to be that point of too much comfortability, take into consideration that other person. Do they want to see that all the time? If you see that all the time, is that going to be something that, you know, turns you on, gets you in the mood, gets you motivated for a deep, intense, passionate conversation? No, it's not. It's not. So sometimes we have to step back a little bit and then really look at what it is we're doing. Like, what it is we're not doing. What did we stop doing that could have potentially led to that conversation or that chemistry or that vibe, whatever, dwindling down. And then once you recognize that, pick back up on that shit. Like, pick back up on that shit. You gotta catch yourself. You cannot let yourself get to the point where you just give up on, and I talk about self-care all the time, you give up on taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. You give up on that. You can't get to that point where you just give up on that, because once you get comfortable, it gets worse. Like, it gets so much worse. So when you do get to that point, overall what I was saying, when you do get to that point where you feel like it's off, something is off, something ain't right, y'all walking past each other, there's no conversation, that little spark that used to ignite when y'all would get close to each other, that's no longer there, then you need to step back and just take a minute to look at what you can do to change that situation, what you can do to get back to where it was you were. Like, you can't really control, you cannot control what another person does, you can't, but you can control what you do. So if you decide you want to give up on that, or you notice that it's continuing to dwindle and it's continuing to dwindle and you didn't do anything to improve the situation yourself without complaining and bitching and nagging and all this other stuff, then at the end of the day, sis, that's on you. Like, that's on you. And it's sad that there are, and I'm not going to say in the world, 'cause I don't know, you know, what everybody got going on, but I just go by what I see. There aren't that many happy relationships because there's so many strong, motivated women that we get so caught up in continuing to be strong, continuing to let go things that don't make us happy, but then we get to that point where you have to realize, like, that's what you did. You let go of everything. You left everything just because you wanted to remain strong. You can remain strong and give in just a little bit at the same time. That does not make you weak. It doesn't make you weak. You can remain strong and fight for something that you want. Your insecurities down just a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just work for it. If you want it, work for it. And those moments when it's like you feel like you're at that bottom spot and there is no going forward, it's like you feel like you're completely done, that's when you know that you need to take a minute. You need to not respond, not react, just take a minute and go about your business. Like, go for a walk, go talk to a friend, go engage in a hobby, go take yourself out on a date. Give yourself time to let it process so you can really think about what happened. You can really think about your part in what happens, and then you can make a plan to improve that situation. And then again, if you feel like, you know, you've done all that and you've done all you can, that's the point when you need to be like, all right, this is not for me, I need to walk away. But all the dumb shit y'all was saying, that's the stuff that make us miserable. Like, we end up miserable. When you realize your downfall, you realize where it is you need to improve, that's when you need to pick that fight. And you need to fight for yourself. You need to fight for your wants, your overall needs, your overall goals. And I feel like being happy and being in a well-balanced relationship is worth fighting for. And until next time.